Join me as I challenge myself to say goodbye to DPI settings forever and see how it changes my gaming performance. When it comes to gaming, one of the most commonly discussed topics is DPI, or dots per inch. It's a measure of how sensitive your mouse is, and it's often touted as one of the most important factors in gaming performance. But what exactly is DPI, and why is it so important? Well, in short, DPI measures how much your cursor moves on the screen when you move your mouse. The higher the DPI, the more sensitive your mouse is, and the faster your cursor will move. Traditional DPI settings have been a cornerstone of gaming for years, but they've also become a major limitation. For one, they can be incredibly finicky. Finding the perfect DPI setting can take hours of trial and error, and even then, it might not be exactly right. And even when you do find the perfect setting, it's not always perfect. Sometimes your cursor will jump all over the screen, and sometimes it'll barely move at all. It's frustrating, to say the least. But that's not even the biggest problem with traditional DPI settings. The real issue is that they're just not very accurate. No matter how high your DPI is, your cursor is still going to move in fits and starts. You'll get caught on invisible walls, or your aim will waver just a little bit too much. It's like trying to thread a needle with oven mitts on. And don't even get me started on the whole DPI cliff phenomenon, where your cursor starts moving way too fast and you lose all control. When you add it all up, traditional DPI settings just aren't cutting it anymore. We need something better, something that gives us more control and more accuracy. So, what's the alternative? Well, that's what we're going to explore today. There are a few different technologies emerging that aim to replace traditional DPI settings, and they're all pretty exciting. One of the most promising is something called gesture recognition. Essentially, it uses AI to recognize the movements of your hand and adjust your cursor accordingly. It's like having a personal assistant built right into your mouse. Another technology that's gaining traction is something called dynamic sensitivity. This one adjusts your DPI on the fly, based on what you're doing in the game. So, if you're sniping, it'll slow down your cursor to give you more accuracy. If you're running from monsters, it'll speed it up to give you more speed. There are even some companies working on haptic feedback mice, which use vibrations to simulate the feeling of movement. It's like having a mini roller coaster ride in your hand. The point is, there are a lot of different approaches being tried, and they're all aiming to solve the same problem, making gaming more intuitive and more accurate. So, what's the breakthrough moment that makes me think we can say goodbye to DPI forever? Well, I recently got to try out one of these new gesture recognition mice, and it was a total game changer. I mean, the accuracy was insane. I was hitting headshots left and right, and my movement felt silky smooth. It was like my mouse had become an extension of my own hand. And the best part, I didn't even have to think about my DPI settings anymore. I could just focus on the game. But it's not just about the tech itself. It's about the bigger trend that's happening here. We're moving away from clunky, inaccurate technology and towards something more intuitive, more natural. We're moving away from DPI and towards something better. So, what does it all mean? Well, for one, it means that gaming is about to get a whole lot more fun. It means that we'll be able to focus on the game itself, rather than worrying about our DPI settings. And it means that we'll be able to perform at a higher level than ever before. But it also means that we need to start rethinking the way we approach gaming. We need to start embracing these new technologies and letting go of our old habits. Thanks for watching, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on the topic in the comments below. Do you think we can say goodbye to DPI forever? Let me know. And if you like this video, be sure to check out my other ones on gaming technology.